We start again.
Okay. So, I'm Iván. I play D&D, which makes me a huge nerd. I write code. I come from a computer science background, which obviously influences my opinions. I am part of the OpenStreetMap Spain, and I am also a member of OGCGISAPILOLINSPIREOMGESRIRESTWTFEPICWIN. And I want to make it very clear that these are my opinions, right? I will going to say things that will upset half of the audience right here, right now. And the other half will agree with me, so keep this clear. My opinion is not OGCGIS, it's not OpenStreetMap. All right. Let's start with the OGC. OGC, as you may know, stands for Open Geospatial Consortium. And for me, it's quite funny to have an organization with open in the name. Taking into account that in order to have a voice there, you need to pay a license fee of $1,000 or something like that. So, right, that's for that. Okay, so OGC is all about GIS, right? And I'm talking about desktop GIS, not this new fancy stuff you'll do in the web and phones and that. No. We're talking that the OGC was founded a few years ago when everyone was using ArcGIS on small. I mean, there's nothing else about ArcGIS on a small board. Actually, it's not ArcGIS. That's like it's wrong. It's ArcMap 3, right? So right now there's all these neo-cartography thingies all around, and some people say that they are the paleo-cartographers. That's not the point. The point is that they don't care about giving out the raw data or the application that raw data can achieve. And they don't care about professionals outside the JS world. A few years back, I had this problem where my opinion didn't count because I was not a JS user. So why? I'm a computer scientist and I'm not entitled to have an opinion about your interfaces and your APIs and your software. Why? Because I'm not a JS user. Okay, whatever. Also, they don't care about providing maps for millions of people, right? We do have paper maps for that, right? What do we need computers for? We will never achieve a world in which maps will be delivered to every house and to every person with computers, right? Wow. So let's not care about that. Now, the OGC had a problem, which was we cannot communicate with each other, right? So, how to solve this problem? There's this actual quote, which says that every problem in computer science can be achieved by another layer of interaction. So, these layers of interaction is the API. And the OGC's point of view of an API is, okay, let's take our existing architecture, and on top of that, let's plop whatever buzzword technology we have available at the time. So for example, you have the maps, the desktop GIS map canvas architecture, right? All the things that you can drag and drop and zoom in and zoom out, and it will refresh every time you move. And you put some XML RPC calls on top of that because they're fancy. Because in the first years of the 2000 decade, it was the fanciest thing to do. XML RPC calls or HTTP with full of easy-to-read XML files. Yeah, really. And guess what this became? This became WMS, right? Of course, we can repeat this. We can get the data backend architecture, and we can plop XML RPC calls, and we get WFS, right? That's so cool. And this is quite easy for them to do because you don't have to redeploy. You can use your existing software, right? You don't have to argue with, let's install this little piece of software that has to read the same data in order to get out some compatible services. No, you just use you just upgrade your version of your product and it will come with this because it's another layer on top of your software. It's not new, right? You don't have to redeploy, something. It has buzzwords. It's fancy. And business people love that thing, right? Who can say no to XML? No one, because XML is so hard and good and for you. Right. So LOL, man, that's not an API, really. LOL. Okay. No. Because come on, right? I had the pleasure of reading the actual WMS standard a few years ago, and it's really not been fun. The 300 pages standards that you have to read in order to implement WMS include GML and well-known text and simple features, and I read all of them because they're dependencies for the actual WMS protocol. And I had the most horrible headache for 5 days in a row with that. Really. Right? So when you design a standard, please make it easy to read. Please. Don't do like the OGC. Right? Also, the OGC standards are slow and scalable because they were not designed to scale. They were a layer of indirection put on top of your software, really. Right? And here we are trying to squeeze speed from WMS. Oh man, we're so weird. And also, there is no innovation in these standards because it's not what they're about. Right? It's not that they are bad per se, right? But it's something that comes out of the standards that is that way. You cannot help it. Right? And there's no reference implementation. From a computer science point of view, this is awful, absolutely awful. So you get these 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 vendors, and every one of them has to fit their product to the standard, plopping a layer on top of them. But no one did an implementation from scratch to prove that all the standard makes sense. From a computer science point of view, this is horrible. From a GIS point of view, you don't matter about this. But we developers do, and drives us crazy. Right. And it inhibits, all the OGC standards inhibit data sharing. Why, you say? Because when you got WMS or WFS, you're sharing data. No, you're sharing a vision of your data. You're sharing a representation of your data. When I'm talking about this, about role data sharing. It inhibits role data sharing. Hey, I got a WMS. Why am I going to publish the source shapefile or the source? Why am I going to open access to my database if I am putting a perfectly good service up to the whole world in which they can download all my data, which is wrong. I really like you to see this talk. This is a 5-minute talk from Sofia Barafina, worked with OpenGeo back in the day, and is working in the GIS field, also in FOSS4G North America thing. I agree with her, and I ask you to watch this video when you got 5 minutes of your time later. Alright, I said that the OGC standards do not make any innovations. If you want innovation, just forget about that. Go to TopoJSON or the GitHub GeoJSON previews are going, do tile with vector tile, which is amazing. There's some new editors, GIS editors made in pure JavaScript plus HTML5. You got character CSS. You got lots and lots and lots and lots of. You got lots of new stuff. There's GeoJit for versioning your data, which is gonna rock the GIS world when it comes live. Because I have had the pleasure of working with ArcGIS versioning. I come from a world where everyone uses Subversion, and when I read about ArcGIS versioning, I just could not make my mind around that. So when GeoGit is finished, it's gonna rock, really. Character CSS for styling, which is absolutely fancy and very easy to work with. It's also very cool doing stuff. It's not like SLDs, right? SLDs are just your styling process plus a layer of XML on top. That's it. That's SLD, really. You cannot work with SLDs. Right. That's it. Inspire. Right. You may know about Inspire. And Inspire is a bunch of politicians in Europe that realized that it would be good to share one of the most politically and military propaganda tools ever made, which are maps. Right? We are the same political structure. We should be able to see each other's maps because it's a military tool that we will share in the future, right? So a couple of politicians got around and meet for that, and there was some software developers that said, hey, let's set up XML-based services with no reference implementation and with 300 pages standard. Well, no one said that. Actually, no software development in his sane mind would have said that, ever. Really. Why don't you just save the data, right? Why are you not capable of sending a fucking hard drive all over the countries? Why are you not capable of that? Get so angry with the Inspire guys. Let's set up services, complex services, in order to keep the data in our own little databases locally, and then they can query it, but only when we allow that. No, share the data. It's not that difficult, man. Really, okay? You might have seen this talk from Tim Berners-Lee, the guy who created this thing called the web and HTTP. He was arguing for raw data, and there is also this study they did that for an open data project, in order to be successful, it has to come from the top, it has to come from the middle, and it has to come from the bottom. Referring, there has to be a will from the top level political government, the middle level skilled workforce. These are your day-to-day guys who go out to the field to collect data, and there has to be a will from the citizens. Actually, about Inspire, it looks like this, right? The citizenship is just using fucking Google Maps. They don't care. No one in the streets cares about Inspire. Okay? Is this clear? I'm not saying something wrong here. No, right? Okay. And we, the mid-level developers, become crazy with the standards. Really. They're not good. But the top level is all about that. So I came to a realization, right? Oh, this is, whenever I talk about Inspire, I have been to a lot of Inspire conferences. And I don't know how many of you have been to Inspire conferences? Few? Okay. So the feeling I got when I go to Inspire conferences is this scene of this movie. Do you know this movie? Pulp Fiction, that's right. Which scene is this? Mr. Wolf is seeing what in this scene? No. The car is clean, alright? And the two black guys are saying, hey, the car is really clean. We have cleaned it so well, it doesn't look like there was a dead guy in here, right? That was a good cleaning, guy. Really? Hey, we did a great job. And what does Mr. Wolf say to that? Don't you remember this quote? No? Okay, gentlemen, let's not start sucking each other's dicks right now. Just seriously, what I got during the Inspire conferences is something like, hey guys, I established your portal. Oh, nice job. Do you have WMS? Yes, I do. Oh, what a great job have you done, really. And it's that all day long, all day long. There's another session, another track session. There are more people with more issue portals, with more WMS server, telling each other, have done a great job. Okay, please, really. Okay, let's be okay. But then comes a realization, right? There comes the OMG moment. Which is, it doesn't matter what you care about Inspire. It doesn't care how much the citizenship cares about Inspire, you know? Because Inspire is so great, so absolutely great, that I had to do this. You know, whenever someone talks about Inspire, it's all rainbows and unicorns. It's so perfect. It's so pretty. You know, it's so absolutely great to inspire around and so on that you cannot get rid of it. Actually, the unicorns mess up with my slides, so I got to refresh everything. Don't worry, it's just and it's not going to be away, right? So you have to accept the fact that Inspire is going to be here. As long as the top level cares about that. That's no getting around that. It's sad, but that's it. Alright, let's go to Esri. Esri, you know these guys, right? I don't have to explain what they do. Okay. So, a couple of years back, they invented something. Oh, okay, yeah. I have some mixed feelings about Esri, right? They're not bad. They're not bad people. They don't want to harm anyone. They even are doing some open source themselves. You know, it's some examples, I got their close API and whatnot, but still I got some open source code and some license code right over there in GitHub and whatnot, and they're participating in some of the OpenStreetMap repositories, so they're cool guys, not bad. They have had their criticism, like, hey, stop saying that you're so open, and actually open stuff, and let other people say that open. That's not the point, really. So Esri did something with REST, which was, guess what? They got their ArcGIS architecture and a lot of their features, and they blocked on top, guess what? REST, which is a fancy buzzword, right? It's cool. That's how you solve your problems. You get your architecture and put some technology on top of it, and all of a sudden it's fancier and easier to use, and it will allow you to make more things with the software, right? This was called the Esri Geoservices REST API. This has been around for what, 2 years, 3 years maybe, something like that. And right, there have been some software who is using this standard, this technology, I mean. But then again, at some point, the Esri guys said, okay, this is a standard. This is gonna be a standard! So they actually proposed for this thing to be called the OGCGISAPILOLINSPIREOMGESRIRESTWTFEPICWIN REST API standard. I think that name is lacking a little bit, so let's put that, yeah, that's very right. So when people in the OGC community saw that, of the OGC, whatever your services thingy, they were like, are you sure this is new? Great, because we got WMS already, and WFS already. So what is this for? And all the community was, what the fuck? What the fuck? Yes, what's going on here? What is this? That was my face when I read it. Is the only thing you accomplish with this is that Esri would have 2 or 3 years of head start in this market, which is the Inspire market. This is just targeted for Inspire, and all the administrations that must comply with Inspire must comply to OGC standards. And the only product that for 2 or 3 years would actually implement this new OGC standard would be Esri. I mean, in 2 years, the open source community would catch up. I'm quite sure of that. But those would have been 2 years lost. So everyone got, you know, sending emails by night and whatnot. So, and there was a lot of movement because of this. And actually, one of the things that they say, I was talking in this Spanish GIS list with a guy called Aitor, which actually works for Esri Spain. And I quote, I think that the Esri commitment with the OGC community is out of any doubt. And I said, no, it's not. Make Esri come to the fucking WMS shootout in FOSS4G, right? Demonstrate, show me that you are really committed to the guys who are doing WMS and OGC standards by comparing yourself to them. And the answer from Aitor was quite funny. It was like, hey, we don't need to go to the FOSS4G. We have no relationship. We are not doing open source, so we have no obligation to go to the FOSS4G. Then came a friend of mine, Mitcho, and said, you know, you're sponsoring FOSS4G. So again, why are you not coming? Why are you coming to the FOSS4G and sponsoring it and not coming to the WMS shootout? So that's good, Mitcho. That was good. Really good. Really good. Thank you for that. This went on and on. This was the this is the thread, a part of the thread in the GeoDiscuss mailing list, and I do encourage every and each of you to read this thread very carefully, because it's full of all the discussion, all the points, all the problems that this standard had, and lots of mixed opinions. There are lots of people here within the OGCGIS community arguing that it would be good for OGCGIS at a point to allow this REST thingy as an OGCGIS standard. So please read this to have a full view of all the issue. So one of the main points that the OGCGIS community meant to say is what you cannot just plop in the OGC and make a new standard, right? You cannot let the OGC to be an organization that just rubber stamps an OK sign, me gusta, I like it, an OK sign on top of a thing they like, right? The OGC is not for that. So the epic win was this open letter from OGCGIS. It took a month to write. There were 200 people signing it, something like that. It was circulated to the OGC via the people in OGCGIS that also have ties to the OGC. The answer to the OGC was, the answer of the OGC was this. The due services REST SWG recommends the TC approve withdrawal of the motion to approve the OGC or services REST API document. I have not put a word here, right? This is the original phrase. I haven't touched the word. If you cannot translate it to plain English, it means that the REST GeoServices API is not going to be an OGC system. So that's really, we want that. So in FOSS3G, the thing is, we don't do things this way, right? We don't just make a bunch of software and then apply for standardization. We just want everyone to interoperate with that. We want everyone to be able to see how we work and to be able to experiment with the software, right? Because we publish the code. We can publish all of our code. It's out there somewhere, some repository, and it's not hard to find. We publish the test data. We publish the test processes. We publish how to compile, how to distribute, how to install. We publish a lot of documentation, right? So you can fork the project if you don't like it. You can patch the project if there is some problem you don't want, or if there is some new functionality that you do want, right? And we allow you to code with us. Please do. This is a wonderful thing. If you haven't, please go tomorrow to the code sprint. Because you will have the opportunity to actually do actual work on code in Live. And, well, that's it, really. Okay, thanks, bye.